We are here today with John Draper. He will be recognized and his family at the Queen Anne's County Fair for 2015 as one of the farm families for his community work, dedication to agriculture, and service to Queen Anne's County. Hi, John. Congratulations.
Hi, thank you very much.
How do you feel about being recognized from a board of your peers as being one of the farm families recognized at the fair this year?
Well, I'm very humbled. I've seen the families that have been honored in the past and always wondered how I could measure up to them and to get into that group, but I never dreamt it would happen this soon.
Well, it's something that they take very seriously. They look at, your service to agriculture, your service to Queen Anne's County, your community service, and you have a long list of things that you've accomplished over the years, being a member of the Farm Bureau and chairing that board and being a part of the Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Board of Trustees, work at the Delmarva poultry industry, and your list goes on and on. So we would like to say thank you from Queen Anne's County to you for all your community service and dedication to agriculture.
And, well, thank you.
Well, we want to go back and do a little history on your life in agriculture. We're going to go back just a couple of years to when you were being raised. We had a previous conversation about your family history here in Queen Anne's County. How far back does your family go with agriculture?
Well, I know the Draper side goes back in Queen Anne's County to at least 1868. I'm not real sure on the Carter side. It's probably been a little bit before that, but I'm at least sixth generation farmer in Queen Anne's County.
Wow, that's quite an accomplishment to have for your family. Where does your family originate? So you go back to 6 generations. Where did the Draper family start farming in the county?
We started farming on the farm that Larry Shoebrooks lives on right now, right next to the 4-H park. We moved there from Caroline County in 1868. My great-grandfather, Peter Draper, started farming right there.
And what type of farming did he have back in 1868? Was it the traditional grain farming, or?
Well, grain and dairy. Very diversified back then, just as most farming was back then, much more diversified than now.
Right. So you're a 6th generation Draper family farmer, and go back to like your grandfather. Now, you had mentioned the other side of the family other than the Draper side, the Carter side. Tell us a little bit about the Carter side of the family.
Yeah, the Carters, that's where I think the 6th generation comes from. I know my great-grandfather started farming on Cheston-on-Wye in 1907. He was a tenant farmer there for roughly 40 years, 2 different times, and then my grandfather started farming on his own in 1935. I came along a few years later than that. I started helping him out when I was 8.
So you basically been born and raised on the farm, farming with your family ever since you can remember.
Well, I had to fight my way to get to the farm because I was born and raised in Centerville. There was nobody in my mother's generation really that farmed day to day at that point. So I was born and raised in the liquor store and in Centerville. And when I was about 8, my grandfather used to bring us to the farm sometimes in the summer when they were cutting wheat. He would never let us come to the farm when school was in session because he wanted us to get our lessons. But we'd come down and ride the combines. At that time we had 403 and 503 International combines with no cabs on them. I was fascinated with those combines. That's where it all started.
Now, just because I know some of your family history, your grandfather kind of dealt a little bit into the beef business and hauling beef.
Well, and dairy too. I mean, he was in the dairy business until 1966, and he got out of the dairy business. He bought some beef cows and started. But we've been hauling livestock. He started hauling livestock some when he was in high school. Hauled milk when he was in high school, and continued right on with the hauling business up until today. We still haul livestock.
And that is Draper cattle trucking, or Draper?
No, that's Carter and Draper trucking.
Oh, okay, Carter and Draper trucking. So you incorporated both of the families into the trucking business.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about your farm operation.
We have a corn, wheat, and soybean operation down here in Y Mills, tilling about 325 acres now.
So you're kind of juggling the hauling, the farming, and I understand you just got a new job.
I did get a new job. I'm now the agronomy program manager at Y Research and Education Center.
So that's something exciting and new for you. So your years of experience on the farm, growing crops, hauling cattle, you kind of like fell right into your normal routine Except
Right.
now you got to go to an office once in a while.
Yeah, every day. Yep, yeah, it's way different than what I'm used to.
Right. Now, does anybody else in your family farm along with you, or is it solely you?
My brother helps me out some, but my brother's also a program manager here at Y Research. He's manager of the Y Angus program.
Well, that's kind of interesting. So we got kind of the Draper family, like kind of halfway running some of the organization down here at Y Research.
Yeah,
So
except he's been here 30 years and I've been here 2 weeks.
So tell us, over the years with agriculture, you worked with your grandfather. How about the hauling business? How did you kind of merge into him going from the hauling business into you picking up the business?
Well, when my grandfather died, I inherited half of it, and my uncle and I have kept that going. Pretty much kept right on hauling like we were before.
Great. Tell us a little about your day-to-day life on the farm. For those of you that are the audience that's not used to kind of knowing about what it is and what you do and how involved it is, and now how tough it's going to be with you working off of the farm and keeping your normal routine.
Yeah, well, the trucking always pretty much took precedent because it was very finite. It was here today and gone tomorrow, whereas the farming usually could wait a day or two. If I had a load that needed to go, then we'd have to wait to start cutting wheat tomorrow or start planting corn the next day or something like that. So whatever job it was, it always seemed like farming took a little bit of a back seat to it. Then there were certain times a year when trucking just basically had to stop so I could get the farming done.
Right. So
it's always a juggling act, sometimes cumbersome.
Yeah. So now, do you just solely haul cattle, or are there other items that you haul? Do you do refrigerated trucks, or what kind of hauling exactly do you do?
Well, with the new job, I'm not going to be doing much hauling now, but we were, our biggest commodity before I got this job at Y Research was landscape materials.
Oh.
Hauled a lot of trees and shrubs and stuff like that to New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, and so forth.
Right. So as far as your new job, tell us exactly what you're going to be doing, what your duties are going to be at the Y Research Center.
Well, I run the agronomy research program. We'll take the research proposals from the different researchers, and there's a lot of them that we deal with. Determine whether or not it's feasible to do the project that they want done, where it's best to do it on the farm, if their plot layout fits our equipment, or if we have to change it, we have to recommend adjustments there. Then we usually do all the ground preparation. In most cases, we do the planting. We do almost all the spraying. We do most of the harvesting, but the small plots are harvested with custom machines that the researchers have.
Right.
So it's pretty much implementing the research plan that the different researchers from both Maryland and Delaware, because we do have a couple Delaware researchers working here now,
Great.
present to us.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your community service that you've done over the years. How about when you were back in high school?
Well, in high school, I was in FFA. I was class president for my senior class. We were involved with student government and so forth, and then a couple church groups also.
Right. And weren't you the president of the FFA when you were?
No, I was vice president.
Okay, vice president.
I was vice president my senior year, yeah.
Right. So that carried over your community service with that over into when you became an adult, and you served on the Farm Bureau Board.
Yeah, I started in Farm Bureau in 1986. Barton Butler over in Queen Anne signed me up because I needed a battery or a set of tires or something, and he says, "You can get this Farm Bureau discount. Aren't you a Farm Bureau member?" I said, "No." He says, "Well, give me your money. You are now."
Oh, very good.
And he signed me up, and then Mark Salton-Fuss got me involved in the board of directors of Queen Anne's County Farm Bureau, and it's been all downhill since then.
Tell me a little bit about when you served as the Maryland Agricultural Land Preservation Foundation Board of Trustees.
Yeah, I've been on that for about 6 years now. I've been the chairman for the last year and a half. Very interesting work. Not quite as interesting as it used to be because we don't have a whole lot of money to spend anymore. But
yeah.
To see how the different agriculture operates across the state and way different people are interested in preserving their farms has always been interesting to me.
Very good. Tell me a little bit about your family. Are you married? Have any children?
Yeah, been married 29 years. Got two wonderful children that I'm very proud of. My daughter is a dental hygienist, practicing both here in Queen Anne's County and across the bridge. My son is a senior at University of Maryland College Park. He's an aerospace engineering student. Wants to work for NASA.
Wow.
So he is the rocket scientist of the family.
And how about your wife?
Oh, my wife, yep. Yeah, like I said, been married 29 years. She's a pharmacist at Edwards Pharmacy in Centerville.
Trish.
Trish, yeah.
Very good. And your children's names?
Jack and Ellen.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. So you're very proud of them and what they've accomplished, especially if one's going to be heading to NASA to work.
Yeah, it's a little bittersweet that neither one of them are interested in a farm, but it's nothing that I worry about because the only reason I'm in farming is because my grandfather was willing to work with me as a child and as I grew up and keep me interested in farming. And, you know, that's my hope. Maybe one of my children will have a child that's interested in farming. I'll be here for them.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Over the years that you farmed, what do you have found to be one of the biggest challenges over the years?
Biggest challenge is regulation these days. Just dealing with all the different restrictions that are put on us, when we can put fertilizer on, how much we can put on, all keeping up with the paperwork of the nutrient management plans and keeping your certifications up for your nutrient applicators license, your pesticide applicators license, and all the paperwork associated with CAFOs and so forth. Regulation is one of our biggest challenges in agriculture today.
Right. How have you seen agriculture change over the last 30 years?
Oh, technology. Technology is astounding now. Now I'm down here at Y. We've got a tractor down here with auto steer. They've got lines set in it so we can go out in a plot and put in a set of coordinates and it'll automatically figure out where the swath is supposed to be, and the tractor steers itself, and all you got to do is sit there and make sure the seed's dropping and
that's pretty amazing.
Pick it up and put it down at the right place.
That's pretty amazing to be able to come from that and going from tractors with no cabs to having it steer itself.
Yeah, we never had a tractor with a cab on it till like 1995, something like that. So, yeah.
What do you think your greatest accomplishment has been, or accomplishments since you're involved in FFA all the way up till now?
Well, I'm very proud of the work I've done with the Land Preservation Foundation, being the chairman of that. Also with Farm Bureau, I'm now state vice president of Maryland Farm Bureau, and we do a lot of good work there. With the agricultural sales tax exemption, there was an effort put forth to remove that from us, and we successfully defended that. So regulations, we do our best we can with regulations sometimes. There's a lot of opposition from the environmental community to loosening the regulations on agriculture, and you know, that's a bitter pill to swallow sometimes. They've got an awful lot of money to fight us with. So.
Right. So you find that with your roles in MALF and Farm Bureau that you're going to Annapolis and you're testifying and lobbying for, you know, keeping things kind of as minimal regulations as possible.
Oh yeah, I spent a lot of times in offices, and I haven't testified too much before committees and so forth, but I spent a lot of time in offices lobbying the different senators and delegates directly.
Great, great. So we can come to you and say, hey John, we got something we've got on our minds as the agriculture community, and hopefully you can get the message to Farm Bureau and take it back and just say, hey, you know, this may not be a good idea.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. We're grassroots. We start from the suggestions made by our members.
If there's something interesting that you could let the people know that, or something unique about yourself and your farming operation that not a lot of people know, what would you say? Unique.
I don't have a whole lot of unique except that I'm farming with antique equipment, but other than that, I don't know. Because my personal operation, we don't have too much of the modern technology. But,
That's kind of interesting, because now you're here at Y Research, you've got auto steer and GPS and all that good stuff, but when you go back home to farm, you go back to the old style.
Style equipment. Very much is old style. I was talking with my coworker today, and he said something about an old baler. I said, buddy, you want to see old stuff, you need to come next door.
Well, John, we'd like to thank you and congratulations to you and your family. And we look forward to seeing you Wednesday night at the fair, where the farm families will be recognized at 6:45 at the main show ring. Thank you very much, and hope you can join us to recognize John Draper and his family.